bookworms. Jess the bookworm here. Today I want to, and sorry I look so tired. It's a long day at work. I want to talk about books that have a really strong atmospheric element. Books that the author has written in a way that just places us fully, all of our senses, into that world. And that is a large part of their novel. Their book is bringing us into that atmosphere that they are trying to create. So I'm just going to talk about a few that I've read that I think brought in those atmospheric elements. Creating atmosphere and describing the setting, which is a circus. It's a circus that is there one day and gone the next, or just magically appears. And this goes into so much description about all of the different tents and different people and different things that you can see while in the circus. This basically feels like you've now attended this Night Circus. And I think that that was kind of the intent, the point, the purpose behind it was to have the reader feel like you are taking this journey along with the characters and not necessarily to have a plot driven book. We do get a few characters that are moving us along within the story. We get Celia and Marco, who have been trained. They're magicians. They've been trained since they were very young, to one day compete against another magician and win this game that they have playing. And so, they've both been training for that. And so we do get some elements of conflict. There's even some romance elements in this, but a lot of it is atmosphere, and it's giving the reader a chance to step into this other world, which I think most readers do enjoy that. But if you're looking for something that's extremely plot driven, just be prepared when you step into this that you're going to be getting a lot of description and a lot of atmosphere, which is what we're talking about in this video. So, yay. So, of course, we have to talk about Erin Morgenstern's other very atmospheric novel that I've read, at least. This is the Starlight C. And this, again, a lot of it is building atmosphere and having the reader step into a completely different world. Our main character, Zachary, kind of leads us on this adventure. He finds a book in the library that has a lot of stories, some that don't seem possible to be there, and he ends up traveling to this secret society and this secret place where the descriptions of it are just beautiful and amazing. There's books everywhere, and there's these ribbons with doorknobs and just these very elaborately described settings that he visits. He does meet some characters, and he attends masquerade balls. There's so much description of things in here. Again, it's just like an adventure that you take. There is some romance, but everything you get it with like a full sensory exploration of the place, of the people, of the plot, everything. So again, if you want to take another trip, this would be one where you are delving in completely, immersing all of your senses in a totally new world. This one, when I read it, I really enjoyed. This felt like, when I was reading it, it was like, this is the peaceful, calm part of my day. Like, I wasn't even thinking, okay, well, I'm reading this to enjoy it. I was, but it was like, I'm reading this so that I can just have this calm wash over me, because reading about all of the places and the setting in here, just, it like transforms you. Okay, that might be a little bit much, but it transports you, that's what I was looking for, to another place where you can just feel very at ease and very comfortable with where you are. So this was another extremely atmospheric book. So, another book that I don't think many would classify this one as atmospheric, but I definitely think it creates atmosphere is Avi's Midnight Magic. And this is an older book. It was written in 1999. And in this story, we get Fabrizio, who is a servant, and his master, Mengus the magician. And Mengus has been placed under house arrest because he should not be practicing magic anymore. It's been forbidden. And but they're ordered, Fabrizio and Mengus are ordered to go to the palace because the king's daughter, the princess, believes that the palace is haunted by a ghost. And so basically, the king has told Mengus that um, he needs to get rid of the ghost, using his magic that he's claimed that he has, or else Mengus will be put to death. And the like witty banter back and forth in this was just hilarious. Not to mention the just cleverness that we see through the characters' dialogue and the cleverness when they are actually going about, because there's lots of like plotting and lots of like secret missions and saying one thing to somebody, but they, are saying the opposite to somebody else, and just kind of like creating these tricks and this mystery. And I just thought that they created such a fun and rich atmosphere, just seeing the characters kind of interacting the way that they were and setting up this whole plot and this whole trick and figuring out how all the pieces worked. I felt like that created such a fun, like witty atmosphere where you feel like you're in on the trick and you know what's going on. And so, you are rooting for the characters to figure out a way out of it because, again, you feel connected and involved with them. And it was just, yeah, I felt like there was a lot of atmosphere just from the clever dialogue and the clever plot points where you feel included in what's going on and you feel like, you need to help solve this mystery and you need to help make things right. So I just felt like it created a really fun and fast-paced atmosphere. So I enjoyed this one, Midnight Magic. So another very obvious choice for this one, I think, is another popular book. I don't have a physical copy of it yet. I'm hoping to get one, especially because it looks like it's part of a series, which I'm going to have to get the next one of. And that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I know that's kind of blurry, but I did listen to this as an audiobook, and I do want to go back and read it as a physical copy book just because I feel like there was so much happening and so many characters and so much development that I feel like I missed some of it. So I'm gonna have to do a physical copy reread. Basically, this one again, super atmospheric, and this is set in the city of New York. So it definitely has moments where you can see the different spaces of New York and how they well, let me just tell you the plot if you don't already know. So basically, New York City is made up of 5 boroughs, and those 5 boroughs have each awoken and become a city that's alive. And this happens to cities that have reached a certain pinnacle in their lives, I guess, as a city. And each of these 5 boroughs of New York has an avatar, which is a human that lives in New York City or who has recently moved to New York City, in the case of one of the characters. And they take on the feelings and the emotions and frankly, they have to take on the best interests of their borough and their part of the city. And so each of these characters is extremely unique and different in a way that reflects that borough. And this just had so much atmosphere because it again, it describes a lot of the city and a lot of how we have this evil entity that is attacking the city and how it's affecting the avatars. So, a lot of description went into this novel. A lot of description went into the different characters and how, the city is reflecting in that character and that character is reflecting into the part of the city. Hope that makes sense. But this one, yeah, had tons of atmospheric elements, definitely things that make you feel like you are there in that borough or in that part of the city. I also loved the descriptive elements that were given regarding the evil thing, entity, spirit, power that is attacking the city. I felt like that was described in a way that you feel, as if you can experience that along with the characters in the novel. It was great. The descriptive parts of the book just made it a really incredible experience to read that novel. So that again was The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Definitely a unique reading experience as well. So another novel that had a lot of atmosphere that was created, and this one was mainly through description of the setting, was Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. And this was a book that I thought it was okay, but I think that the atmosphere that was created in this novel and the description of the places kind of made it like an okay novel. Not one that I was like super excited about, but they describe the cities with so much detail, and they have to because these cities are not like anything we've ever seen. But the way that they describe the cities is just very vivid, and you can really feel as if you are there. And so basically, our main characters are on the city of London and the Great Traction City of London. And basically, all of the cities are moving, and they constantly are hunting down other cities to consume. And basically, they take all the different parts and pieces that they need, and you have to keep attacking other cities, or else you might become prey to an even larger city. So making the cities kind of a living organism. And we get an apprentice historian, Tom, who ends up being flung from the city along with a girl who is not very happy to be anywhere near Tom. Her name is Hester Shaw, and she kind of is coming up with these theories of something that the city of London could potentially be plotting to do. And so the two of them kind of have to end up working together in order to get back to London and get onto the city again. But the descriptions of just the cities and the different modes of transportation. I remember something about like a hot air balloon. They were very, very vivid and vividly described in the novel, which, was a must for a city that we have never even imagined or seen before. A city that can move and kind of attack other cities. So this one, I felt like the atmosphere was definitely a large and present factor within that novel. And I think that's it. I think those were all the books that I wanted to talk about that have like a lot of atmospheric elements. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, night, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Bye.